I find when I create something, whether it's a painting, a story, a new idea, after I bring it to life, I start trying to fuck with it and fine-tune it, perfect it, if you will. 9 times out of 10, I find personally that the damn thing was better when I started. And that's kind of the whole point of this podcast, is just to be catching creativity as it comes to me and then just releasing it out there to you. I think the things that I'll put out there are going to be way more enjoyable to you all, even if it's for small chunks of stuff, than me trying to polish it and put it out. People do that a lot of times so that they can prove to you they understand the medium, right? You want, I know how a picture looks. For example, I could draw a fucking awesome tree and a bush in the middle of a field. And it's like, that looks pretty good. That's a damn tree and a bush. Those are bush-like and tree-like. But then you look at it and you go, I don't know, man. Other fields don't have one tree, one bush. There are multiple trees, multiple bushes. You're like, maybe add a cloud, put a cloud in there, and it's like some birds coming down through there. And the next thing there should be some shading on some leaves and some subtle nuance and a rustling of the wind through the tall grass out there. And then the next thing you look at, you got a fucking blob of green and blue and brown, and it sucks. At least I do. I'm not like Vincent Van Gogh of paintings, but I enjoy painting. And if I would have just stopped at my one fucking tree and my one fucking bush, it would have been like, wow, Titus could draw a tree and a bush better than, wow, Titus could draw a green, blue, brown blob. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do with this podcast, is just putting out stuff that I know is good when I start it, and that inspiration and everything hits you, lightning strikes your brain. So that's what I want to do, and that's kind of the reason why I'm doing it. But the more I try to add stuff to it, and the more I try to perfect it, make it better, and do the same thing with the podcast, right? You start, first, I'm just going to get this idea, and I'm going to do all this stuff, and I'm going to release it. And then it's like, oh, well, what if I did this? And then you come up with an idea, right? So I have an idea for what I want to do. Once you start branching out and doing that stuff, then so you have to build your framework of what you're going to stay within and what you're going to hold true. And then it's easier, I think, and I'm hoping you guys will see this coming up. But there is strength in numbers. As much as you'd love to do it all yourself and get all the acclaim and all this stuff, I would rather put out something that when I'm done, I could sit there and listen to it myself in my car on the way to work and just laugh and think like, that's fucking awesome. I love that. I'd rather put that out and make myself happy and glad instead of going, that was so fucking cringy. I can't even stand it. And the world loves it. They just ate it the fuck up. It's gross. That's where I'm at. And that, to me, that's how creativity should be. You make things for you. Don't shape them or edit them or polish them to the point to where society or other people in the industry or whatever thinks that those things should be. And like I said, because you know how it should be, you see it, everybody else sees it. So you try to get there to be like, I can do it just as good as anybody. Truth of the matter is, you just do it different. It's not good or bad or whatever. You are different than other people. So you put out a different product. Be proud of that product. That's what I want to do with Titus Off the Cuff. I just want it to be free, flowing, fun. It doesn't have to stick to anything, but if it does, that's awesome. The next stories after this are going to be character-driven. Some are going to be done by me. Some are going to be done by some family and friends. I'd hope to voice all of it and then put out something that weaves into a fabric that makes sense, you know what I mean, with some sense of continuity. But behind it, ultimately, I think there's a great idea here that's going to be a great launching pad for me or other hopefuls or stuff like that. And it offers a ton of opportunity for people to come in and out of it. And there's no commitment to it. You can commit as long or as short as you want to it. But it's really a spot for artists to come out and say that haven't had their chance, that are 41 and starting down the back road or whatever. And you want to tell a story. You only have one story. You got one episode worth of shit. Let's do it and make something cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sitting here saying all 500 of you come to me with a story and I'm like, let's get in here. If that's the case and it gets something like that, we'll screen some stuff. You know what I'm saying? But that's ultimately what I want to do, is make something I enjoy that could lead to it blowing people away and be awesome. But I'm not doing it for that reason. I'm doing it because I think it's fucking cool. If you don't think it's fucking cool, that's on you, man. That's cool. You don't have to do that. You're kind of a fucking loser if you don't, but I'm not type to judge. or anything like that. But I do think it'll be really awesome. And just don't ever create anything for anybody else. Take that shit for you. Make it for you. Forget the whole rest of the fucking world's out there. But we all have a voice and we want to be heard. That's fine. Just don't be afraid of your thing to be shit. Because it could be. And the hardest part about it is the people that love you generally don't tell you it's shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's tough to gauge it. You need outside perspectives, but you don't have any outside perspective because it's just all your friends that you're podcasting to. So hopefully you get that clarity from someone or an inner evaluation. And that's what I try to do the most. But it's really hard to do it. But after you do it for a while, I have a pretty good idea of where I stand as a storyteller, as a comedic person, as a creative person, as a fantasy. I have roots in all that stuff, man. I've got hours and hours and hours of games and TV and movies and books that I've read that I've just consumed all that stuff. And I always wanted to put it out there in a way that would be seen. I'm not going to sugar. I like to be admired as much as the next person does. I like to be the center of attention and tell the 40 fucking jokes. And then people are like, God, you don't shut up, dude. I never believed in dead air in my life. So maybe this is why this industry is good for me. And I get to do it in some wacky voices and shit like that, which is awesome. And that's my niche. That's what I can do. That's what's God given me as a talent, is the ability to do 130 voices and be like, that's cool. But when it comes to creating, and if you're not a creator, dude, that is okay too. We need a consumer to tell us that it's good and to take it in, just like coaching or football or something. You got all those players and run out, but somebody's got to tell them how to do it. And it's funny that the ones that usually tell them how to do it are the ones that couldn't fucking play a lick hardly, or weren't great. The greatest coaches weren't the greatest players. So it's different for different things. And it's all fine. Can you live with it or can you not? If it kills you that you're not a creator, you can work towards it. You can put the steps in to be a great creator. You can use your brain or you can use your experience. You can do anything you want. You're human. You can literally do theoretically anything you want on the planet. So don't let me pigeonhole you either. I'm just saying, you have some talent, you have some gifts, you have some ideas, you have some friends that have some talent, and you're going to go a pretty good ways. Or at least I'm hoping so. But at the end of the day, you just stick to it, man. And you just go, I'm doing this for me, to prove it to you for whatever reason. I'm not doing it for anybody the fuck else out there. I'm doing it for me. And then it'll carry you longer ways. He says as his podcast diminished into nothing and he faded into the universe like a speck of dust in the wind. Anyway, I love you guys. There's going to be a lot of content coming out. I'm thinking we're going to kill it. I really do. I think this thing's going to be big. And I think it's going to be offering a lot of opportunity to a lot of people. So hopefully you guys hear back from me soon.